Good morning, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I'm here with my partner and co host, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. I'm Carolina from California Cover Ups, and we are the BizChicks. We are looking forward to having this conversation with you because on Fridays we talk tech in language that you can understand. So come on in, don't be scared. We're going to show you some tips and tools to help you do business better. Fran, how are we doing today?
We are doing well. Things are popping and moving and shaking, and all is right with the world.
Cool. I love it. I love it when all is well.
Hey, Dr. Tachi.
How's everybody in Clubhouse this morning?
We're doing good over here, too. We have Dr. Tachi. We got Lakeisha. I thought I saw Mark Ward pop through there.
Hey everybody. We just want to give a shout out to you today. Let you know that we are loving on you and we thank you for tuning in today.
Yay.
So what's happening this week in tech history?
All right. So today is the 26th. So I'm just gonna go back to the 20. Boy, there's a lot of stuff happening. Oh. I'm trying to see. Is it? I like this one, and then I'll go to some more. August 20th, 1911, the New York Times sends a telegram message to test how fast a commercial message could be sent around the world. Reading simply, this message sent around the world. It left at 7 p.m., traveled over 28,000 miles, and was relayed by 16 different operators. It arrived back at the Times only 16.5 minutes later. The building where the message originated is now called 1 Times Square and is best known for where the ball drops on New Year's Eve.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was 1911. Was that the first text message?
Okay. I think it was. Went over a wire. Okay.
Yes. And then I'm going to go to August 24th, 1995.
Morning, Cheryl.
Kicking off one of the largest product launches in technology history, Microsoft releases the highly anticipated Windows 95. More than 1 million copies will be sold in the first 4 days of its release. I was like, okay. I remember Windows 95. That was the one that worked.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a big ticket thing. Everybody was like, Windows 95.
Right. Yeah, Windows 95 was a thing. And this is odd to note now, that software, you had to buy that software.
Yeah.
Now it comes as a part of your purchase where you just get updates to the software now. But before, you had to pay for software.
Well,
I think really quickly, there's so much open source stuff now that there's like consumers are like, we're not gonna take it. Like that Twisted Sister song. So they're like, look, if it doesn't come with it, there's somebody else, Apple, who does have something that comes with it. So, I think now that type of stuff doesn't work because there's so much open source software and so much software already comes loaded. So you can't do that anymore.
Yeah. You're right. The villagers have spoken.
The villagers. I love it. Okay. Oh, my goodness.
My next story. August 24th, 2011, Steve Jobs resigns as Apple CEO. He states here, I have always said, if there ever came a day when I could no longer meet my duties and expectation as Apple's CEO, I would be the first to let you know. Unfortunately, that day has come, Steve Jobs. Apple CEO Steve Jobs resigns amid rumors of failing health. He passes away 43 days later on October 5th, 2011.
That's commitment.
Yeah. August 25th, 1991, the birth of Linux. Linus Torvalds posts a message to the internet newsgroup com.os Minix with the subject line, "What would you like to see most in Minix?"
Mm-hmm.
This is the first announcement that he is working on an operating system that will one day become Linux. Okay. And my last story, Dr. Tachi, this will probably be of interest to you. The first use of tape recorder in radio. August 26, 1938, radio station WQXR in New York City broadcast a program using a tape recorder for the first time. The tape recorder used was the Philips Miller recording system, also known as Miller tape, invented by James Arthur Miller.
Whoa.
Wow. Not surprising. New York City is at the precipice of everything that is new technology. So I'm not surprised that it happened in New York. Now, if you said you could do for Kentucky, then I would have been like, wow.
Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Lakeisha had a comment here. She said it's been that many years, and I'm thinking she was referring to Steve Jobs. Yeah, it's been that many years.
Or has it been that many years since we used a tape recorder on the radio? That's quite a ways back. Woo.
Yeah. Well, that's your Week in Tech History.
All righty then. You know, I love history, and in fact, at one point I used to teach high school history. Teach history to people in high school. I taught
There
world
is a difference.
Yes, and U.S. history. So yeah, but it's been a minute. So don't quiz me on any of that stuff. But I do love history and the facts that we build on things as we go. So I've got a couple of stories that I'd like to share with you guys. You know, I always like to do sort of
Stuff that makes us like, what?
Yeah, off the beat. But today I want to talk a little bit about some young entrepreneurs because, you know, we are here to help people run a profitable business that's fun to run.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came across an article over here on USA Today talking about from ABCs to CEOs. So I'd like to share some of those articles. So let me share the screen.
Especially because it's back to school.
Yeah, it is back to school, isn't it?
Yes.
So I want to start with this young lady right here. She runs a stationery company that she created. She's 13 years old, and she runs this stationery company. Let me get to the article. Because she was, and this is a recurring problem in a lot of communities. She was having a difficult time finding items for her birthday party because in 2017 she was 7 years old. Her name is Kamira Warren, and she knows the lack of racially diverse images on school or kids' school supplies. So she started a company called Brown Girls Stationery. And she began to create characters for her party invitations, and that brainstormed into this company. Let me show you a few of her products. Let's see. Go back here.
I'm going to see if I can find her and put her link in the chat.
Oh, yeah. The name of her company is called Brown Girls Stationery.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. And let me see if I can find the actual shop. Here we go, shop.
I'm going to put it in the link for the people on the Clubhouse.
Okay, that'd be just great. So they can see what we're talking about here. Products.
I'm just amazed that she's 13 and doing it.
She's 13 and she's been doing it for a while. Now, I don't know. Can y'all see the products? Let's see. Let me go over here and see. Yeah, you can see them. Okay, so I'm going to go over here and scroll through these products. You see she's done t-shirts. Her t-shirt says Black Excellence. I was created for this. Okay. Her back to school notebooks sell for $7.95. Her t-shirt is $30. She's created party supplies, which I think are genius because it really is difficult to find images. I have an 8-year-old granddaughter, and I'm really going to enjoy this site. And her backpack is only $30.
Can you scroll up on that, please?
Oh, which way? This way?
Scroll it so that we can see the full shirt, something.
Oh, go back to her shirt?
No. We see something on the screen, but can we scroll up or down on it so we can?
Let me know when to stop because I'm scrolling blind here because I have to go to the page to scroll. Right there?
Yeah, well, it's not moving, so don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. So let me go here and make sure that I'm going to stop scrolling and I'm going to go back to the products and see if I can't share the screen because I loved the products and I thought we need to show these products. Can you let me know when you can see that?
You need to share again. And then Cheryl says, I'll definitely check her products out.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did put it over. I put the link in the Clubhouse.
Okay. Now let's see if that's showing. Let me go full screen and I'm going to scroll up a little bit so you can see. I think I'm in the products.
Now you're moving. There you go. Okay, that's better because I was like, I can't see that.
Okay, can you see it better now?
Yeah, keep pushing. Okay. So I see Destiny back to school notebook. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. Right there.
Okay.
So, and I see her t-shirt too. I like the fact, go ahead. She wasn't scared to put it on there.
Yeah, and there are just a couple of the items. Can you see these better now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, there are her plates, her party plates. It's super cute. And then she has a little backpack over here. I like the fact that her products are reasonably priced. Her backpack is only $30.
Mm-hmm.
Her party pack is $14. And we've got another. Let's see if we can scroll to the next page so you can see what else she's got going on. Let me know when I'm in the right zone.
Keep going. You're good. This little girl's got something going on. She's got
air bows.
Mm-hmm.
And different types of notebooks. You're seeing this season's notebooks coming up. And look, she's got the matching backpack for the notebook, which I thought was genius.
Very nice.
I love this. And here's the key. She only has 10 items on the website because you know what we say, Fran, a confused mind will not make a decision.
Or purchase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now you can see the zebra backpack and notebook.
Nice. 13 people, 13.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. Wow. Absolutely adorable.
Meet our CEO.
I'm with you. I'm about the one that the zebra one or the other one with the lady with the head wrap.
Yep. So there she is, 13, doing her thing. She's originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. She's now in Atlanta. People are purchasing her things from all over. And I am going to make a purchase. I just love her designs and I want to support her. So that's one of our CEOs that we're talking about today. The other that I want to share with you, because you know I want to get in and out of here because we need to take up time with things about tech, but I liked this story here talking about, let's see if I can screen share this and you guys can describe it to everyone. This is the story of these three young men. I mean, pardon me, these five young men. See these boys right here?
2, 3, 4. Oh, they
Okay.
included the little baby too. If
Yes,
you
they got a new baby brother. So he's the fifth partner in the Yummy Brothers cookie business.
you need to scroll down so we can see
Okay,
their
let me
face.
see if I can get in here. Let's see. So you can see
There
them.
we go.
They're the boys, the four boys that started the business, and they recently added their 1-year-old brother. So he's now on the screen with the four boys,
Yes.
which I thought was just so precious. They own the Yummy Brothers Cookie Company, and I'm going to stop sharing this screen so I can show you a little bit about the cookie company. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's see. I love it when I find these kind of stories. Okay. Let's share it. There they are. Can you see them on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. They're the four boys that started the original company. They sell cookies, drinks, and are you ready for this? Dog treats. Okay, so let me what we do. Yummy Brothers is a gourmet catering company that specializes in yummy cookies, yummy beverages, yummy platters, and yummy dog treats. Yep, we just do about we just about do it all. Got cookies, yep. Got beverages, yep. Got cookie platters, yep. Got healthy dog treats, yep. See, we told you we have tasty bites and are yummy and satisfying. So then I love their logo. It's a little black boy with a chef hat on. It says Yummy Brothers. And this is their website that I'm showing you. They do catering. If you want catering, you can click here, and you'll be able to see their mailing address is Yummy Brothers, 1100 Peach Street, Atlanta, Georgia. Here's their phone number, 404 397 7189. And you can email them at info@yummybrothers.com. And evidently you can donate because they've got a little donate button here. I guess because they have entrepreneurial things going on and they do fundraising and things of that nature. So I thought this was just precious to see these young men having such a successful business. And when you go to their Facebook page, you're able to see all of the different people who are, what do you call it, buying their cookies. Let's see if we can find their Facebook page. Beyond Lemonade. Oh, here it is. Okay, let's go in here. And you can see people bragging about the cookies.
Where they holding the cookies up that
They
they
hold, they're holding the cookie packages up.
Cool.
These guys, entrepreneurs in training, 15 others. It's just really nice to see a successful business with such young men. And the fact that they decided that their brother, a newborn brother, is now a member of the business. Everybody deserves a yummy cookie, a Yummy Brothers cookie. Somebody somewhere is buying Yummy Brothers cookies. Order Yummy Brothers cookies, dog treats online at yummybrothers.com. Cool.
Yeah.
They're using their great grandmother's recipe, their their grandmothers and their mothers, passed down through 3 generations. There you go.
I
And
like the fact that they're doing the right things for social media too. Yes, TJ, they taking pictures of the people with the product and showing people
Mhm.
enjoying
Yeah.
the product.
And their brother, pardon me, their father is an entrepreneur, evidently, according to their story, but it
Okay.
doesn't say what he does.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then the mom is helping them with all their social media stuff. And it's just a family business. They show
Good.
people in Detroit eating cookies, people all around eating cookies. Somebody got some cookies. Here they go.
Go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
No worries. I absolutely love this story. There's a few things I love about it, and both stories. Number one, it shows the power of being surrounded by people doing the same thing. It's no secret that Atlanta is a juggernaut for people of color when it comes to owning businesses and encouragement, because you're surrounded by it all the time. So when you're surrounded by it, people are looking at you like, so what's your problem? If you're not successful, why? So when you're surrounded by it, so I think it lends to the fact that we need to have more incubators of success in different cities, because Atlanta cannot be the only place. It's a model for that type of thing. So other cities need to take notice of how Atlanta is doing things in an entrepreneurial way, especially for people of color, especially for Black people, and take heed to that and see if you can create incubators for that. Number two, I love the fact that they included the little brother at one.
Yes.
That has something to do with that as well. But the thing is, it's almost like, look, everybody works here, even the cat. So you better find a way to do something. So it's instilling that from a very early age, that work ethic, and the fact that, we're all in this together. And it's leaving legacy, which is something, a lot of people of color don't always have, a legacy to leave behind. And in terms of that legacy, they're using a recipe of their great-grandmother. And how often have we seen in families things get lost or passed down because nobody wants to tell me, oh, it's my secret and it's mine. Okay, now nobody knows how to make it, and it does. So I'm glad that we are carrying on the legacy of that.
Yeah, this was good. I like the little slogan. Somebody in Detroit is buying yummy cookies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, somebody just became a member of BizChicks. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. We gotta be borrowing some of their line. Somebody somewhere is buying Yummy Brothers cookies, and then they can put the city. Somebody somewhere is doing blank.
You know what? Just as a thing, that there are a lot of these sites that these e-commerce websites that do that same thing. So that could be where they pick that up from. Like somebody in, let's go with Paducah, Kentucky, just bought such and such. So you'll get that message, and depending on what e-commerce site you're using, it will pop up. And so maybe that's where they took it from, but it's brilliant.
Right.
Well, right here to Cincinnati, we're almost sold out. These kids
somebody in, and then they put the picture of the person. Somebody in Detroit bought the cookies.
Yummy cookies.
And
they're showing them at their events. I love their logo. It's just really a great story. And I wanted to share these stories about these young entrepreneurs because I wanted you to know that people are moving and shaking even at young ages. And I'll be bringing more stories. And that's our story, and we're sticking to it.
I like the fact that they're moving and they haven't fossilized.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They're just young and just doing it. I'm like, yay. Like Dr. Tachi said, what's our excuse?
Well, I know one thing. We need to go over to yummycookies.com and get some cookies. Okay? Yummy Brothers.
In your backpack.
Yep. Yummy Brothers. Yummy. And also, if you have a puppy, evidently they do dog treats.
Yeah.
Which I thought was genius because, that's a very lucrative revenue streams.
Yeah.
Things for pets.
Yeah.
They do healthy dog treats, friend. I'm not trying to influence you. I know you got
yes, I'm not trying to influence.
Yeah, Macy's probably knocking on your door right now. Did you say yummy treats for dogs?
Dog treats are a thing. Actually, the whole dog industry, billions right now for
pet
dogs.
industry is huge, and I thought that was genius that they decided to add the pets.
It is.
At first, I thought, why is this over here on a food channel? But I mean, the people ordering the cookies own dogs. So
the dogs, why not have they will break off a piece and give them? They will break off a piece and give them to the dogs. And dog treats, if they're made right, they're human grade if they are
Right,
made
they're
properly.
edible. Yeah, human can eat them if they're made the right way. Yeah, cool.
So, there you
Love
go.
it.
So those are my feel good stories today.
Well, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. It's a happy Friday.
It is a happy Friday.
All right. We
Right.
got social media news coming up. Or
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we got a lot of news today.
mm-mm.
So this week in social media news, we're gonna start with there's a lot of new apps out. So Pinterest has a new
Oh,
app.
good.
Yeah, Pinterest has they call it a soft launch, which they haven't announced it, but it's an app called Shuffles, and I downloaded it today, but I
Oh,
didn't hook up my thing to show you on the phone. It's invite only, guys. Shuffle.
Oh,
oh.
Invite only, and it connects. If you have a Pinterest account, it will connect on it. So mine says Shuffles is invite only right now. Your Pinterest account is on the wait list. If you have an invite code, you can put it in. And I was trying to find one on Twitter. Everybody is trying to find it. So this is like the hot thing with Gen Z. It's blowing up with Gen Z. So what is Shuffles? It's a collage maker app. So you can
Mhm.
make collages of the thing, and this is the idea. You can make collages of the things that are on your Pinterest board. You put it in there, and then it connects to your Pinterest account. And if you're selling through your Pinterest account, then you make sales. So
Oh.
this is yeah, so it's in demand. Gen Z is trying to find, they're on Reddit, they're on Twitter trying to get the invite code. So according to the description for the app, users can do anything from curating fashion inspo to creating mood boards to designing room aesthetics. So these collages are
Mhm.
set to music and posted. They're right now they're posting on TikTok. So can you
Oh.
imagine they're making it, posting on TikTok? People on TikTok see it, they click the link, they go back to this thing, and then if you have it set up to where you're selling, you can make money off it. But Gen Z is using it for self-expression. They're not using it
Mhm.
for networking. They're not using it to sell. They're using it for self-expression because they're all upset with Instagram because of the changes. So now they're looking for, they're moving on to new apps. So the new app allows users to build their own collages using Pinterest photo library or by snapping photos of objects they want to include. And they're saying one feature that they can cut out the background and just show the object, and then they make
Oh.
collages of that. And it's not like the squares. You know how you see somebody will take a few pictures and put it in squares? It's more creative, that it's like more layered.
Okay.
It's layered. So they're using that. So the objects in the user's collages are linked to Pinterest, and a tap will bring you to a dedicated page for them for the item. Then you can open and do in Pinterest and then buy. So again, a lot of fashion, bloggers, fashion people who are doing fashion and stuff, they're using
Mhm.
it. Um, it's invite only, so people are trying to get in. So if you hear something about a Shuffles app, that's what it is. It's from Pinterest. They're soft launching it, so they're saying that they're using an invite code because it's soft launch. Is not available to the public, but it will be available to the public soon. All
yeah.
right.
Everybody jumped on that Clubhouse
Right,
invite
it's the same
only
thing. Yeah, they
situation.
were looking for it when Clubhouse came out. Everybody was looking for invites on Twitter. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So Pinterest has done this with um their new app where you make these little collages that do things and spin and they have music. So this is something that Gen Z finds soothing. But
Mhm.
there'll be a business use for it, which I was just saying about. It links to your Pinterest account.
Okay.
All
That
right, so
sounds good.
sounds good, right? All right,
Yeah, I like it.
all right, so another new one is called Be Real. This one's been out for a while, but
Yeah.
it's growing. Be Real is now up to 10 million daily active users.
Really?
And yeah, so last year they had 10,000. So this year they have 10 million. So this is another trending app. So Be Real sends out a prompt to all users at a random time each day, which asks people to share a photo of what they're doing right there in the moment. You have a 2-minute time limit to post an update.
Mm-hmm.
I put Be Real on my phone just to
Mhm.
see, and I'm like, oh, I'm not following anybody that's
Right.
using it, so we'll see how that goes.
Right. So it's like this is one of those things that said that everything was going to private and community. So it's a
Yeah.
group of everybody gets the little notification. Okay, it's time to take a picture of where you are, and everybody takes the picture and shares it. And it's sort of like a underground secret thing. So this is what Be Real is saying. So they the focus is on real, unedited, everyday life as opposed to airbrush polished Instagram lifestyle scenes. This is what Be Real says. No filters, no followers, just friends sharing with each other on Be Real. You'll discover your friends' real lives and get closer to them. Okay, so this is what's happening with this app. Now, here's something I found fascinating. That some brands that are experimenting with Be Real. So they're saying Chipotle was an example. They've been using the app to share exclusive promotional codes.
Oh.
So here's the quote from the article. When Chipotle joined Be Real in April, one of the first major brands to do so, it shared reusable promo codes in its post for a week. The first 100 people to use the promo code would receive a free entree. Those codes were regularly redeemed in less than a minute. So as soon as they got the code in Be Real, they were using it. So that's one example of how businesses can use the Be Real. But right now it is a group of friends sharing what they're doing in that moment at a specific time. So
This
I think go ahead.
This can be interesting because if you have a community that you want to engage with, they don't have to go online. I mean, they have to go online on their phone, but they don't have to go to the desktop and try and log in and
They
do all
don't have
this
to.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like you TJ has been telling us, we're going to be going to the smaller communities are going to have their own little place.
Yeah. And it's private. It's like, okay, if you're not in the, and I have Be Real. I installed it, but I forgot, and I was like, I haven't even like finished signing up. But you're right. This could be used. When I saw the excuse me, when I read the Chipotle example, I was like, okay, that's how you do it. You get people to come into your circle, your community, but giving them something of value. So what would a restaurant want to give? Discounts, free items, free this, see that. So that's how the brand would get into, say, creating this.
And they want to get your email. So yeah. So you
Right.
sign up for the coupon. I mean, will you follow them and get the coupon? The other thing I thought would be interesting too, Terry, is things like Girl Trek.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm walking. What you doing?
Right.
I mean,
and I like that.
Yeah.
Because we can, as BizChicks, we can put things in here. Okay, everybody, this is what's happening. And it's just for the group. No public.
Yeah.
Just the people in the group.
Right.
Keep it real.
Right. So this is, this has been growing on a while for the backlash from being bullied on Instagram or any of the other places, being bullied publicly. People may not want to share. And a lot of these other apps, they do have circles where it's just like Instagram has close friends or the DMs, or a lot of these apps have a private part of it. That's what Snapchat's pull is, the private messaging, the private fun you have with you and your friends, and it's not public, but it's a public side. So Be Real is saying, hey, it's just this. Now, why this Be Real is important? Because Instagram, of course, is copying this feature.
Oh no, they're not already.
Yeah. So let me go to Instagram real quick because I was talking about Be Real.
Keisha had a question about IG too.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get to. We're at IG right now, so let's just.
Oh, okay. Do we want to?
No, because
no, we don't want to stop your flow. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. So I was talking about Be Real because Instagram's next feature is going to be a copy of Be Real. They're calling it Candid Challenges.
They're calling it what?
Candid Challenges.
Why is it so long?
It's in testing. They may change that or they may drop it.
Oh my God! They can't even copy it right. How does that even equate with Be Real? Candid
So
challenges.
let's get some more information. So they're testing this. This is a test. So now Be Real launched in 2022.
Yeah, it did.
Right. So Instagram is working on IG Candid Challenges, a feature inspired by Be Real. Add others' IG Candid to your story tray, and every day at a different time, get a notification to capture and share a photo in 2 minutes. So they're
pop in.
So Instagram is testing this Candid challenge to prompt users to take a selfie at a random point in the day. You have to and it's just like Be Real, so they're copying it. So that's what the story is saying, that they're testing this to see, because again, Be Real is popular with Gen Z and the millennial crowd. So they're testing that.
But the problem is this, Terry.
Mm-hmm.
They're adding something else, and it can get so cluttered that it becomes invasive. It's like, stop talking to me every 5 seconds. Can you imagine?
But the Instagram part of it, would it being on Instagram, you're going to have to now, like Terry just said, go in and now pick one of them apps on the bottom to get to the candid circle part of whatever it is.
The candid challenge, Francine.
I want to know how they're going to integrate this. That's what I'm curious about. How are they going to integrate this into Instagram app? Is it going to be another section? Like, remember they brought stories in and they put it at the top with the circle. So now they're going to bring another section in.
I don't know where they're going to fit.
They are probably going to take your close friends and move that and make it candid something or other. I don't even see it. I don't even see the close friends thing.
Yeah.
And I don't use it.
Yeah, I don't either.
It is like, what?
Where is the close friends? Where do you find close friends at?
When you get ready to do a story, you can send it to close friends, and I think in the
right. When you put up a post, you can
determine who it goes to. It's sort of like a
right, but in the hamburger menu, you can decide who you want to put in your close friends.
Yeah,
right,
which is crazy to me.
So maybe they're gonna get rid of close friends and call that the candid thing. I don't know. This is just,
oh my God,
it's too much. And that's what's so frustrating about if you're going to do that, why not just create an extra app? Just
Thank you.
They did that. They've done that. Instagram has done that with several apps. They had one called Thread or Threader that was DMs. They got, because nobody wants to install all these new apps. Plus, I'm in Instagram, so I got to go out. So Threader was that app that, if you wanted to look at your DMs in a separate app, you could, and they got rid of that. There were a couple other
I don't think they give their stuff time enough to grow. If it's not, if it's not,
they look at the analytics and the testing part of it, and if it's not hitting certain numbers, inside internally, then they know to get rid of it. Like Google gets rid of stuff because they're like, well, it's not hitting the numbers we expect, so they get rid of it.
Yes, but sometimes your expectations are not calculated right, because give people time to get acclimated and remember that the thing is over there first of all, and then maybe we might use it.
Right. Sort of like Vine.
They have internal benchmarks is the word I want to say. They have benchmarks to know it should be here at a certain point, and it's not.
So or the robot says we're not showing up.
It should be this many daily active users at this certain point, and it's not there. So again, they have to pay coders and developers and programmers for this to work on these separate apps.
Well,
so that eats into labor costs of, we got to spend more money to get these, on something that's not working.
Well,
so that's why they cut it.
So in the media, Dr. Trachi, you can speak to this. There have been many a movie that they thought were flops. Mm-hmm. And if they'd just given people time to get acclimated to it, we now have things that we're watching over and over and over, and they're still here.
And we're not arguing with you, TJ. We're just We
But
just
that's like
talking
thinking
about the
thinking
app.
about media when there's TV shows get canceled all the time. Why? Because of ratings that didn't meet their internal benchmarks because they have to sell ads and the advertisers don't want to be on a show that's not getting the numbers.
That is
It's
true.
all about numbers.
And then,
right? I think that's
then
you were saying something.
Yes, she
Okay.
said you were correct. Then the villagers say, no, we want to see the reruns, and then the reruns outdo whatever the original.
But some TV shows do get saved by the audience loving it and stuff. I think one of the PBS shows they got another season because they did a campaign on Twitter. I forgot one of the
give them a life support, put it
right. So, but that's what it is. They have they have internal numbers that they go by, and they go, well, it's not hitting the numbers, so projecting on this, that, and that, we're not going to invest a lot of time and cost into this.
Sure.
Cost. So then they
cut that's it. Reasonable. That's reasonable.
They cut it.
Okay, but in the case of Instagram, they just messing up stuff, just muddying the waters.
It's just cluttered. And they don't give you any. No, it's just too much. That's all I got to say. Go ahead.
Oh, remember their dating app? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, remember the date? Yeah, they had a dating app. They had this app. They had so many apps. And guess what? They announced that this app is going away. Oh, this app is shutting down. And then it's never to be heard. It goes to the app graveyard again.
Where do apps go to die?
Go to the app graveyard.
Instagram and Meta. Cheryl Ferguson said Scandal got saved 3 times by fans writing in and taking to social media.
Oh, thank you.
Right, Scandal. There's lots of shows if they have an active fan base, and the rise of Twitter has brought this about because attention is key. Attention is king, especially for media. If nobody's watching, they can't sell any ads. Same thing with social media. If you're not using it, they can't sell any ads. They can't make any money. It's all about making money. The bottom line is this thing making money?
That's real.
And that's what they use. So there we go.
Okay.
All right. So since we're still on Instagram, I'll stick with them. Let me see. Let me go back up. Okay. So the copy of Be Real, we know about that. So look for that. They're testing it. Who knows if it will, be something that they will keep around because, Meta tries this and that and they get rid of it. So we'll see. Instagram is going to limit sensitive content for new teen users by default. Existing users under the age of 16 years old will be asked to switch to the most restrictive content setting. So this is for under 16 years old. It's going to be categorized as less, standard, and more, and allow users to limit content containing violent sexual imagery, cosmetic procedures, and other sensitive subjects. Only users over the age of 18 years old can access the more setting, which offers up the least filtered version of Instagram available to the public. So they're telling you they're going to automatically set if you're 16 and under, if you put your real age in, because they're not putting their real age in.
I was going to say.
Yeah, they're not putting a region.
They're asking them to tell them they're under 16.
So the 14-year-old can make a new account and say that they're 21 or whatever just by changing the date because there's no check and balance for that. See, but go ahead.
I went in to activate one of my Instagram accounts, and they said, "So what's your birth date?" And I was like, okay, even if you're using it for a pet or you're using it for a product, what's the birth date? I was like, oh, okay. So they are asking.
Yeah, so Instagram is going to do this. So they're saying that they're going to ask, they're also asking all existing teen users to perform a setting checkup and limit who can share their content, direct message them and what kind of content their followers can view. It's also going to ask teen if they want to update a feature that lets them limit the amount of time they spend on Instagram. So they're asking teens, do you want to put the setting on that's going to limit the time that you're on Instagram? Sure. No, Instagram.
I got the feeling that the teens are not even over here. because when you say teen, I'm thinking 13, 14, 15,
Right.
16, 17. I don't see them in Instagram.
Right. So it's 13 to 16 for this new setting, but they're all on where?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah,
So TikTok might want to ask them, but okay, anyway.
So Instagram has to do these kind of things because remember, I think it was last year that the Mosseri, what his name is, was called before the U.S. government, and they were like, oh, you know, you got to do something about all of this emotional, physiological, psychology thing that's going on in the bullying, and so Instagram goes, yeah, we're gonna put all of these settings in. Okay. Again, you can go to Instagram and they say you must be 13 and I'm 13. I'm going, well, I want to get on Instagram. I'm going to put in a birth date where I'm 18 and 19. Who's checking? So,
yeah. And the question, like Fran said, who are you talking to over there? Ain't nobody over there your age.
Okay, so another one from Instagram. Instagram is allowing users to share posts, reels, and location using QR codes. So you can share anyone's post or reel through a QR code. Also, users can share a QR code location through the searchable map experience. And that was that. I think we were looking at that one time trying to figure out how you got to the map. You can only get to the map if it's a post that has the location tag on it and you tap it, but there was no other way to get to it. I think we
played
around with that. Yeah.
It was like that was not fun.
Like, how can I get to the map unless I look at a post that they're using the location tag?
And they're using the map of the device.
Right.
It
right. We looked at that. We looked at that and was like, that was stupid. So now they're saying users can head to any real post or location, hit the 3-dot menu to see the option for the QR code sharing. You can also, on the web, users can add /QR to a post URL to generate a QR code. So Instagram, Meta says, to make it easier for people and businesses to share specific content, we recently launched the ability to create a QR code for profiles, tags, and locations, reels, and more.
Okay. Can you feel the clutter just coming up?
It's just unbelievable.
QR codes for a post. There you have it.
I've seen it in there too, and I was just like, okay, what am I doing with that? Okay.
It has a use for if you're a local business,
right? You put your QR code in the window,
right? And then you say you have a coupon for a free. You come to lunch and get a free. You know what we said about Chipotle. So you put the QR code where they can share it and all of that other stuff. So,
okay,
we'll see how that goes. Instagram.
Yeah, because Lakeisha had her question about
what
changes. Terry, are you pushing buttons too?
Yes.
Okay. What are changes? What are changes on IG talking about the reels? What are the changes?
The changes is that everything video is a reel. Instagram is pushing reels, so you make a reel. That's where they're pushing their attention to, and that got people upset naturally because they don't want to make a reel. They want to post a photo.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. TJ, last couple of weeks you said, okay, the Kardashians said something, and so they decided, and so Meta said we're gonna hold off. They didn't hold off.
Not on the reel. They were holding off on the suggested posts from people you didn't know. That's what they were mad about, and also the reel section. So Instagram said, "Hey, we're gonna hold off on the suggested post." They didn't say anything about reels. They're not holding off on reels
because
reels on reels.
Look, I went to reels, and then all of your posts, or all of your videos will now be reels, and you can, and they will be shared to Facebook, and they didn't give you
Now I saw today something about an option that I want to share to Facebook. Maybe I have something turned off.
It says allow. It will say allow to be.
And I said no.
They asked, well, see here, you might want to say yes, because it says, would you like us to suggest on Facebook, meaning on other accounts that are not yours. They're going to suggest your Instagram reel to other people on Facebook. I was like, we might need to let that go.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just arbitrarily saying, no, don't share it to Facebook, but share it on, they asked you to share it to Facebook or suggest it to Facebook on other accounts.
I'm just saying about Instagram. When you go in now, it's all reels. And if you put the sound up on one, it puts the sound up on all of them. So I have all mine muted, but I'm scrolling. Everything is a reel. I've seen 1 or 2 graphic posts and they're ads.
Right.
Everything else is the reel. And this is the main feed when you go in. Okay, so here's one. Entrepreneur put up a photo, but everything else is a reel in my feed.
Right. And it looks like TikTok.
It
when
does.
you go in there, it looks like TikTok because if you start scrolling up, you're gonna get new reels from other people. And I was like, don't scroll, friend.
Right. So everything is a reel. Everything that's an image post is an ad. Mm-hmm. There's 1 or 2 that's not. Okay, 3 that's not an ad. That's a graphic post. So that's what's going on with Instagram. They want you to make reels, and if you want to be on Instagram and that's where you want to be, then you should do reels.
And reels are easy to do, like we talked about yesterday. We went live yesterday on Instagram to do a workshop. We did a workshop live, just talking about what do you need help with, answering questions and that type of stuff. And they were talking about somebody asked about doing a reel, and I'm like, okay, Canva and Mojo, you can create reels in Canva real easy. Oh, get it? Real easy. Okay. In Canva, you can create reels. If you need to you don't know where to start with Canva.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Canva has lots of templates, and just pick one, change it to what you want it to be and say, and post it, and just keep going. We talked about Pinterest. A lot of people are talking about putting, they do short form video on Pinterest, because they have their Pinterest set up to, like I said earlier, where they have boards and you click on the boards and shopping pins, and you go and buy whatever it is that you're people buy through the pin. So you might not want to be on Instagram, you might be on Pinterest. Depends on what you're selling and how you're selling it and how you have it set up.
And again, yesterday we talked about short form video. You might want to create your short form video in something like Canva, because then you can put it in your Pinterest. Then you can put it on your YouTube short. You can put it on Instagram Reels, and then you can put it on TikTok.
Yeah, because remember YouTube, and I found this the other day. I made a short and downloaded it, and it had the Shorts logo on it. It put the Shorts
little S
logo,
thing.
little S thing moving on it.
Yep.
And it's my video, so I put it up and down. I was doing something, and I said, let me download it, and then there you go.
So and Instagram will pull your audio off if you create it in Instagram and then try and use it somewhere else. They're taking the audio off, even if it was your voiceover.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. So you want to be on Instagram, make reels and story. Okay. You could still do graphic posts. Like I said, I saw a few. If that's what you like, image posts, you can still do those. You can do carousels, but they're putting a push behind reels. So, decide how you want to use Instagram. Hey, Dr. Tachi.
Hey.
It's good to see you.
Yes, I finally finished doing what I was doing. I usually have shoots and such on Friday, so I was putting stuff away, and so I was like, "Oh, I have time to come on live." So here I am.
We are
All right.
complete.
Okay, so let me get back. We be finished the social media, then we can get the media. Okay, YouTube. YouTube has created a podcast page.
What?
A podcast explore page. Now, this article was saying some people can access it on desktop or mobile, but I've seen it on the desktop. I didn't look on the mobile. Oh, let me see if I can bring it up for you guys. It's just a regular page, and then it says I think it says YouTube podcast or something. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick. Right. Let me see if I can bring it up for you real quick. I should have had that.
YouTube. I see the article here. Start a podcast on YouTube. Seriously? Okay.
Seriously.
How to create a YouTube podcast channel.
But they have an explore page. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I got so many YouTube links. I should have saved it. Why didn't I save it? Let me see. Let me see if I can find it in my. Maybe I saved it. Nope.
Well, they have an app for it too, I think. YouTube dedicated page for podcasts. I think I found it.
Did you find it? Because it's youtube.com/ I think it's podcast.
That should make sense.
ABC News did it 3 days ago. Has it? Okay, everybody's going to show you how you can use.
I got it.
Okay, cool. Because I was looking for it. I was like, everybody was doing their YouTube on it, but nobody was giving you the link.
Okay, no, that just now. If you go to YouTube, there's a podcast.
I got
tab.
it. I have it.
But it says YouTube podcast, like on the top of
right. And I'm going to share that screen.
Okay, share.
Okay, so let me get back to here. Oh, StreamYard. And we want to share. Then I'm going to
share. It says, cool. I just launched a podcast on YouTube. How do I switch over?
There's no switching. It's just regular old YouTube.
You see it?
Right. It says podcast at the top. That's it.
It said podcasts.
Yeah, there's no switching. It's just your video. It's just a categorization page. That's all it is.
So basically, they're taking your audio and putting it over here.
You're just doing some people like this, they do StreamYard and then they send it to YouTube and they call it a podcast.
And so YouTube is using their algorithm for where it says podcast and bringing them all over here.
Right. So I'm thinking probably you might have to use a hashtag podcast, but I don't see any that say hash, because for shorts you do hashtag shorts.
Yeah.
So this you might do. I'm not sure. They're not giving like the details. They're just saying that YouTube quietly put out this explore page and hasn't given any explanation.
But if you look, you can see that all of these people seem to have blue check marks, meaning they're verified. So I'm wondering, because I'm saying Charlemagne, I'm saying all these people, and I'm not seeing.
Right.
I'm sure
Gary Vaynerchuk,
regular people. Excuse me, regular people that may have podcasts. Right. So, is there a push for these quote celebrity-driven or well-known people-driven podcasts over regular people's podcasts?
They're not giving any details. They're just saying that they quietly
It's not for us.
YouTube didn't even announce it.
The villagers don't get a podcast.
It's not for the villagers.
Because I've heard of the Pivot podcast, and I've heard of some of these podcasts, and podcasts can also be visual. A lot of times they're not telling you that, but Anchor says we will take a podcast with your video, and you don't have to pull the audio out.
Right,
so
which you had to do
podcast
before.
can be audio or video.
Right. So this article I forgot where I got it from. Maybe it was TechCrunch or somewhere. They're saying they asked YouTube for comment. YouTube did not comment. So they're not sure what's going to happen. But
So-
they're saying they are speculating that it suggests the Google brand is positioning itself as an alternative to major podcast clients like Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Okay, now here's the thing. For that to work, right now you can only access YouTube while you're not on YouTube if you have YouTube Premium.
Okay.
So with Spotify, with all the other places that you listen to podcasts, you can close out basically the screen and still listen. You can't do that with YouTube. So how
Okay.
are they going to work that? Are you now going
know.
to require, because you're already making people pay if you want us to be able to watch YouTube or listen and close out the app. So what are they going to
Right.
do now? It won't be an alternative if you don't give us that option.
Right.
Mm.
So this is the deal. They have this podcast page, but they didn't put out any explanation. The tech journalists and publications asked YouTube for comment, and YouTube did not comment.
Of course not.
Okay.
So this
Crickets.
is what they're looking at. You know. YouTube
Sure
right
asked,
now.
is it like that on Breakout? I'm not sure I know what.
Breakout. What's
I
Breakout?
I
don't know
think
what-
Breakout is a podcast too, but a podcast platform.
Oh,
I
okay.
heard of Breakout.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never
Um,
used Breakout. I just know all the
Me
other ones that I do use because I know because our podcast is on all of them, even the ones we didn't put them on. You can listen without being on the page.
Right.
Okay.
And yeah, I think I don't know. It's going to be hard for them to pull people off of Apple or Spotify podcast or wherever people are getting their podcasts. It's going to be a real hard pull to try and get them to come over there to do a podcast,
Right.
especially if you got to pay to be able to listen to it
Mm.
without it being on your screen.
Mhm.
Okay. All
Now-
right. So there's some more with this podcast. So NPR's podcast is going to YouTube. So Google is partnering with National Public Radio to bring the broadcaster's podcast to YouTube. They announced that more than 20 NPR shows are now available on the platform. So NPR wasn't there before, so now they're putting the NPR podcast there. So I don't know if the two are connected, but there you go.
So interesting. So question. Is it all of their podcasts would be listed there, or is it a specific one? Because I already know, although they haven't been back since the pandemic, Live from Here, which was formerly a Prairie Home Companion, they were on YouTube already. They were broadcasting the show because they also had video. So you got to see the show and listen. So the show would be live on NPR as well as you could watch on YouTube. So are they doing specific ones, or is it all of their? Or maybe I'm asking a question.
It says, well, they're saying that 20 shows, including Up First and Through 9.
Okay, it
So
seems like they're
let me figure it out.
picking the shows that they're going to put for a podcast.
Yeah, it may not be all of them. Right. So they're saying, the official announced press release says NPR has partnered with YouTube to bring over 20 of its top performing podcasts to the streaming platform, including fan favorites such as Up First, Fresh Air, and The Limits with Jay Williams, among many others. The relationship connects NPR's diverse collection of podcasts with YouTube's audience of over 2 billion monthly logged-in users and brings new viewers to these popular shows. That's from the press release.
You notice that Wait, Don't Tell Me is still over on the other podcast. Wait didn't go. That's an observation.
You know what? And probably because, think about this. Wait, Don't Tell Me is not evergreen content. They're dealing with current week news stories. And so they probably wanted some stuff that was evergreen as opposed to current affairs. Although Fresh Air is a combination of both, but I think Wait is a little too current topic for that.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, good to know.
But it's interesting that the podcasts are coming back so forcefully. It's like radio coming back.
Yeah.
This is radio where you used to come in and sit down and click on the radio and listen to your favorite story, like the War of the Worlds, where it freaked everybody out.
Right.
Radio. This is radio 2022. And technically, because TuneIn, I have TuneIn in my car so that I can, if I need to get a radio station, it's no longer the regular radio stations, the FM and AM radio and all of that is kind of like, they still exist, but they're not the same.
Right. Okay. Cheryl says it's like that on Breakout. Breakout is podcast, video, audio, like Clubhouse, IG, and FB all in one.
Okay, Breakout.
Interesting.
I just am not familiar with Breakout. Maybe she can tell us a little bit more about it in the chat later.
Okay.
This just in, there are too many apps.
Is it an app? I don't know.
Yeah, it's an app.
Okay. It's an app called Breakout Room.
Is it called Breakout Room? Is that?
I don't know. I'm just looking over here. Digital Breakout.
Yeah, because I was looking over there and I saw several under Breakout, and I was like, okay, I'm confused. All right, so what's next, TJ?
All right, so Twitter. Let's move on to Twitter. Speaking of podcasts, Twitter is testing podcasts as part of a Spaces tab. Now we talked about this because I think someone had discovered, like, one of the reverse engineer, whatever they call themselves when they look at the code, that Twitter was looking to put everything in the Spaces tab. Well, the Spaces tab is there, but now they're saying they're going to integrate podcasts into the platform as part of its newly designed Spaces tab. The revamped Spaces tab and the addition of podcasts will be visible to a group of global English-speaking audience on iOS and Android. So they're putting up something called personalized hubs for users called stations that group content together based on different topics such as news, music, sports, and more. The recommendations that you will see will be based on the themes and people that you follow. Twitter users will now be able to access a personalized selection of live and recorded spaces. The hub will also feature the most popular podcasts from around the world. Once you come across a podcast, you can give it a thumbs up or thumbs down and let Twitter know if the content is interesting to you. So they're saying once you open the Spaces tab, you'll see 3 sections. Now I didn't see it, so all I saw was just a list of spaces. So. But there is a Spaces tab that you have when you go in the app. But they're saying that now, instead of just spaces, they're going to put podcasts and news and group it by this, that, and the other. So Twitter is wants to tailor this feature to work as like a curated radio experience in the style of Pandora. We just mentioned about radio. So users can rate each. Oh, I just said it. Did you rate it with a thumbs up or thumbs down? So that's what Twitter's putting in their spaces. So they don't want it to be just spaces. They want it to be all audio. But they're just going to call it spaces.
I wonder how they're going to make the differentiation in the tab, because you have all the spaces. Is there going to be, because you already have to scroll to see things. Do you then have to scroll to discover podcasts? Or I'm just wondering how they're going to do that.
No, I
hear fear of clutter.
I had a tweet. I had their tweet pulled up. Let me see if I can pull it back up. That because that's a good question. Let me see.
Because I'm just confused. So there's spaces and podcasts, and spaces is spaces where there's the live audio conversation, and podcasts are the recorded conversations.
Yes, but they're calling them both spaces.
Oh, God.
All right, I think I have it. Let me see if I can pull it.
You know what? I need them to focus on the problem at hand, which is the whistleblower that said there is a bot problem. Musk was right. So I need them to focus on solving that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Is that showing up? Oh, it is. Okay. So let me
Yeah.
see if I can get it bigger. So this is Twitter Spaces, or Spaces is the account. So they're saying that they're gonna have these images. So good. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Here's the NPR example.
Okay.
And then this is what spaces look like when you go into a space. Then this is the tab. It's going to be today's news. And then these are, I'm assuming these are podcasts.
But where did it come from?
I'm lost.
Let's go back. It's at the
left
bottom.
and left me.
It's going to be here somewhere at the bottom. That you tap one of the, I think this little icon, it looks like squares. You see on the left? Looks like squares.
Okay.
I think you tap that, and then you get this.
Okay,
and
so
this.
Okay, so this is looking like Clubhouse right there.
But see, this is the space. This example, that's a space.
Yes, but it looks like Clubhouse. Because it's recording and it's got a bunch of people down at the bottom.
I'm not responsible for how it looks.
So here's
audio.
Another image. Yeah, so this is another image. Oh, this is all going to be in the Spaces tab, which is this microphone at the bottom.
Okay, and they got 3.5 people listened this morning.
And you'll probably be able to. This looks like another podcast here. This purple thing, and you'll swipe with your finger. Swipe left.
Now here's where they made a mistake.
All of that will be in the Spaces tab, which is not now.
Why wouldn't they make it an audio? See, they didn't think about it. Why wouldn't they make it an audio tab so that you could have podcasts, then you could have spaces, and then whatever other audio, because it's all audio. Maybe it's too simplistic, but you've now branded everything as spaces, including podcasts.
Exactly.
That's okay, Twitter.
We don't know where the milk is.
It's too early for my brain to be trying to process that. Okay.
We don't know where the milk is. Where's the milk aisle? Where's the bread?
This is a test. Remember, this is a test.
It is a test.
This is a test. So they may or may
Fortunately, we are not required to take this SAT yet. However,
I'm not going to take it.
At some point.
All right, so there's a couple more things. So Twitter is also testing a new format for tweeted links. I don't have an image for this, but I'll describe it. So when you tweet a link, the whatever the image is from the link shows up. So then it's going to have another button that says, a black button that says read on. And this example was The Guardian, like the Guardian website. So it'll be a button at the bottom of the image. It'll say read on the Times, read on Washington Post, read on whatever the name of the website is.
Oh, so the link takes you out to wherever.
Right. It still works the same, because you can tweet a link now and it pulls up the image from the link. It's just they're adding a button to let you know where you're going, the website name.
Okay.
That's all they're doing. And that's a test. So they're saying that right now people on iOS and web may see and interact with they're calling it tweet tiles. Tweet tiles that include text, images, videos, or other elements like a button from people in the initial test group. These formats are designed to easily engage with content and make your timeline more dynamic and visual. Ta-da. Yeah. So they're changing the way the links look. Now, getting back to what Dr. Chachi was saying about Twitter, they had a whistleblower named Peter Zatko. He's Twitter's former head of security. He filed a complaint last month with the Federal Trade Commission, Department of Justice, Security and Exchange Commission, and he said that Twitter is violating the terms it agreed to back in 2011. He's saying that the company has misled regulators about its security measures, and that Twitter, he says, quote, has extreme, egregious deficiencies when it comes to defending the website against attackers. He says also half of Twitter's servers are running out of date and vulnerable software, and that thousands of employees still have wide-ranging internal access to core company software, which had previously led to huge breaches. So basically, they're saying there's a privacy issue, security issue. Twitter knows about it since 2011. They haven't done anything. He worked there because he was the former head of security. I think he left or he was fired in January of this year. So he filed a complaint saying that Twitter, is all of this stuff is going on. Also with this Spaces we were just talking about, he also says Spaces lacks proper moderation. That means that there's nobody moderating the chats and the Spaces. They're supposed to. He said a Twitter executive incorrectly told staff and board members in December 2021 that the feature was being appropriately moderated. Spaces.
Incorrectly? Is that another term for lie?
So Zacko says he discovered that about half. Zacko says he discovered that about half of Spaces content flagged for review was in a language that the moderators did not speak, and there was little to no moderation happening. So if you don't speak English, if you're moderating, you're supposed to be moderating an English chat, and you don't speak English, how can you moderate it? And vice versa. If you're English speaking and you're moderating, say, a Spanish language Spaces, and you don't know Spanish, how can you moderate?
They're like, oh, it sounds like what they're saying is nice.
I don't hear any aggression.
Nobody's upset yet. I don't see any emojis, so it must be cool.
Right. So this guy is saying that things are going on in the back of Twitter.
Not in the back room.
They know about it. They haven't done a thing. There you have it. All right.
I don't know what the problem is. You only gave them 10 years. I don't know why.
Yeah, 2011. 2011. So this guy came forward and he was the head of security, so he knows what he's talking about. All right, so one more. Let's do Meta. Meta has created a customer service division to help people who have lost their accounts. This is a good idea. I don't know how it's going to work. Meta doesn't have customer support, and this is if something happens to your Instagram or your Facebook account and you get locked out, or somebody takes it over, is hacked or whatever, there's nobody to call. So now Meta is planning to build a customer support division which will help users who have had posts or accounts removed unexpectedly. So the plans are in the early stages, so don't look for this is not happening today. So they don't know when this new customer support will come up. So because users right now, if they lose access to the account, they get hacked, they get whatever, they get locked out. There's no place to turn to.
You have to actually click on the little link. My account has been such and such, and then I had to have an ID, upload my ID,
but for some people that doesn't work at all. It doesn't work.
What is this? How come I can't just call somebody? You cannot call people.
So Meta has an appeal process as well as automated tools, which Fran was just talking about, but they're saying those are difficult to navigating. The tools are confusing and ineffective. I've seen so many people, on Facebook asking, well, how do I get this? Especially with the ad manager, and when something goes on with their ads and they get locked out and they can't get back in, like, who do you call? There's nobody to call. So Meta says they're making this customer support center. They don't know when it's going to happen.
Okay, so your privacy is breached and they asked you to load more private items up there?
No, it's going to help you get your account back, so to speak. So.
Yeah, by giving us more of your private information.
Like Fran says, now you have to you take a picture with your ID or something, and through the link, and you don't hear anything. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the social media update for this week.
Yeah.
Thank you, TJ.
You mentioned. I want to say something about customer service. Disney Plus. I've noticed that I had duplicate charges on my Disney. I was like, I just paid for that. Why am I paying for that again on my bank account? So I looked in there and I called Disney Plus, and the guy said, hope it was the whole Disney experience. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, like you're calling Disneyland.
Right.
And he said, oh, I'm not the right department, but I'll get you right over to whoever.
See, that's how you keep a customer. That's how you reduce your customer acquisition costs. It costs a lot to get a new customer. So once you have them in your Disney net, so to speak, you need to be nice to them. You need to help them. Don't there's not like 10 steps to solve a problem. You call somebody and say, "Oh, I can help you with that," or "I can't help you with that, but let me connect you to the person that can help you. Hold on." And and they tell you, "We get disconnected. Here's your number, da 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 da," and they do all the work for you. That's how you keep a customer. Because I don't want to go through something wrong. You don't want to go through all of these hoops and things, and you don't know if somebody's helping you or if this link is working, and you don't know. So then you get frustrated and say, "Well, I don't want to be a customer anymore."
And they answered the phone. I talked to the next person. They said, "Oh, you have 2 different accounts." So, and they helped me 86 one of the accounts, reimbursed me for all of that I had been paying on the other one. And I was like, wait, this is Disney? I'm like, okay, wait. They answered a phone.
That's what people want, to talk to a real person.
And Netflix, I would not be able to do that. Nobody else would you be able to do that for? Do you understand? I was like,
right. And see, we're paying for that service. So contrast that with Meta. We're not paying. So that's why they get to treat us like that.
Whoa. Netflix, and I don't get to talk to them either, but okay.
Look, but you're riding on the back of our content. We're still working for you. They
don't see it like that.
We're supplying you with content for your Instagram, for your reels, for your, we're the reason why people come over to these apps, because they want to see what their friends and family are doing or what your business is doing or whatever. So,
but you can't talk to a human. There are a lot of places where you don't get to talk to a human. I'm telling you, it is very, very frustrating because you're trying to figure out what's going on. And there was here is one other tech situation that I came across, and then I'm going to give it to Dr. Tachi. In California will ban the sale of gas vehicles in 2025.
I read that. Yeah. Wow.
Read that.
I was like, say what? No more selling gas vehicles in California 2035.
Wow.
And we're 5 years behind, because when I was working for the state, it was supposed to be 2030. And so we're behind the set goal. But I think because of what happened with the wonderfulness of the last 3 years, we haven't had enough people to help push that into effect. And we don't know who's going to regulate on it, because we didn't everybody quit.
Did we hire anybody to make sure this happens? So it's going to be interesting. I'm seeing a lot of electric vehicles hitting the market, and people are trying to hurry up and get them out. And the batteries, there has been a backlog in batteries for it could be Tesla, Honda, whoever, all the electric vehicle manufacturers. I saw some pretty nice looking Chevy trucks and stuff. There's a lot of them are now, they're stepping up their game to get the electric vehicles out. 2035 hits, you can no longer sell a gas powered car in California.
A new one.
Wow.
Well, you can't sell them at all. No more selling. You can drive the one you have, but you're not going to be able to buy one. I was like, ooh, that, and I think maybe because back in the day, it didn't seem like a big deal until it's 2022. And I'm like, wait, that's 10 years out. That's not long from here. No. Go ahead, Dr. Tachi.
No, well, I think somebody has to do something, and California usually leads the way when it comes to these types of environmental decisions. This country has been doing what the hell they've liked since the industrial age, dumping things in rivers, putting emissions into the air, and nobody does anything because there are too many interests at hand, and so everybody turns their back on it. And leaves it for the next generation. And so now it's like we're starting to see the fruits of all of that. because now it's 117 in in Buffalo, New York. We're starting to see all of that happen. So people are starting to figure, well, maybe we need to do something about. Yeah, you think so? Before we, lose a lot of coastal areas, etc. So somebody has to make those types of drastic decisions. And if it means, and I'm sure the oil companies are none too happy with this. But it is what it is. This means that you need to find a way to pivot. Since this is the thing, you need to find a way to pivot into other types of renewable energies. What are you going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before Dr. Tati starts, I wanted to show this on the screen. She talked about it on Wednesday.
Okay.
So let me bring up the tab. I know.
Oh, Lord,
I don't know
is
if
it
we're
the
going to talk
story
about
I
it
think
today. Yeah. I don't know if we're going to talk about it today. But
I'm not. This is your. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is Mark Zuckerberg with the metaverse and his cursed selfie. So you can look at this thing and go, "Oh my God, look at this thing." I was like, "What? What is this?"
You mean as creepy as this cursed?
Yeah, creepy.
The metaverse won't be as
It's cringy.
Cringy,
cursed
what, all of that. So I didn't know if she was going to talk about it. So, but
I wasn't going to, but I mean, this is the thing. There are a couple of things. They have the whole reason for them changing their name to Meta was to indicate the vigor that they have about creating a metaverse where people will work and everything. What's the name of their metaverse? You remember? Horizon.
Yeah, it was in the story.
Yeah.
Horizon
Worlds.
Yeah, Horizon World.
So they're in such a rush to do this, and they have pumped millions into this. And this is the bloody best you could do with the graphics in there. This is the best you could do.
Horrible.
And let me tell you why. If you know anything about the metaverse now there are several different metaverses, and they're trying to get into it to, and it seems like they're first, but they're really not, because the event that we're having on Sunday is going to be an AltSpace VR. Microsoft owns AltSpace VR. They actually acquired them. Because AltSpace VR has been around since 2013, but I don't remember when they were acquired by Microsoft. But that is another attempt to be a master of none. Somebody else has this, and so do we. They have a metaverse. Microsoft has a metaverse. So must we have a metaverse. So I think it's but again, the metaverse requires a level of, you don't know, but there has to be this level of trust. So if I don't trust you in Web 2, what would make me trust you in Web 3?
Exactly.
With decentralized currency.
No.
Yeah. That's why I say you got to build up your know, like, and trust now. You're not going to be able to do that on Web 3. Not happening.
No,
do it now.
Especially not that creepy avatar.
Exactly.
Okay. But
it
does look like him. I'll give it to him.
Oh, yeah, it looks like him.
It looks like him. I'll say that. Wow.
Okay.
Well, you ready for me?
Yep.
Yes, we are.
Yay! Welcome to the recap of what's been happening in media this week. There's quite a bit that's been happening, and so I'm actually excited. Yes, bring me front and center. Hello, everyone. Welcome. You know who I am. Let's get to it. So I talked about this on Wednesday on Mediascope, and there are a few shows that have been canceled that were supposed to be going to HBO Max. There were 6 animated series that were either on HBO Max already or supposed to be going to HBO Max, and they are no more, which makes me say, what's happening over at HBO Max? I don't know if it makes you say that, but I always am like, what? Today, what the hell is this? So let's talk about one of the series that's going away. Now, I don't know about you all, but I was a huge fan of Batman the Animated Series. It was everything to me. Absolutely. And it was almost before its time. So one of the DC, I'm more of a Marvel girl than I am a DC girl, but one of my DC properties is definitely Batman, if I'm going to go with one. So I was pleasantly surprised to hear that they were reprising that series. It was actually going to be a sequel called Batman the Caped Crusader, going to go to HBO Max and Cartoon Network, but it is not. It's no longer being produced for HBO Max, according to TV Line. That doesn't mean it's not going someplace else, but it's not going to HBO Max initially. So there are 6 projects that are mostly from Warner Brothers Animation that will continue while they're being shopped to other outlets. Okay. So let's see that. There's also not going to be a 5th season of Young Justice, another DC property, which is basically, you all know, the Justice League. So this is Young Justice. Now, I never watched it, but apparently there are some people that are hurt. A friend of mine, her son was like, who do we have to write to make sure that this apparently it's that deep for Young Justice fans. So, so there's no 5th season, but the fact that they got to season 4 is a huge thing in the content game in this day and age. How many shows do you see that go past season 2?
I've noticing that.
Yeah, and again, like Terry was bringing up earlier, money is really tight, especially when we're talking about in this, we're not post-pandemic, we're still in it, but we're talking about less production, which is why, that's what I want to talk about too. I have to bring that up. We're talking about less production. And so for movies and everything, so since there is less production, obviously there's going to be less money to be made. So in that world, they're very careful about what they have on, and it has to be something that is going to be a hit because they need that advertising money. So no 5th season of Young Justice, but let's talk about some of these things that were going to be on HBO Max, but will maybe land somewhere else. So they're not going to be there, but maybe they will land somewhere else. So another Batman thing, Merry Little Batman, which is a Christmas family action Batman, I should say holiday, not just Christmas, but holiday action comedy. When 6-year-old Damian Wayne finds himself alone in Wayne Manor, he must transform into Little Batman in order to defend his home and Gotham City from the crooks and supervillains intent on destroying Christmas. When we know it's a Christmas thing, they're always trying to destroy Christmas, right? So we know that's what that's about. Also, what does this sound like? Does this not sound Home Alone-ish a little bit?
Yeah, it does.
It sounds extremely Home Alone to me.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's exactly what came to my mind when you were describing. I was like, okay.
That log line in the description.
Can they get away with that?
Yeah. Okay. It happens all the time. There are no new stories. There's only the new spin you bring to it. So people do it all the time. Everything is a reimagining or a building upon something that already has happened. So there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing at all. So yeah, they could absolutely do that as long as they're not calling it Home Alone 5.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So there's another one coming up, and those of you that have kids or grandkids, you could be on the lookout for these things when they do crop up someplace else. So The Day the Earth Blew Up is a Looney Tunes movie, and it stars Porky Pig and Daffy. And so they become unlikely heroes when their antics at a local bubblegum factory uncover a secret alien mind control plot. Against all odds, the two grow determined to save their town and the world. So that's not happening. And because we already know the end, they save the town and the world. All right. Bye Bye Bunny is another Looney Tunes musical, which is, again, Warner Brothers. It is going to be the first Looney Tunes. It would be the first Looney Tunes musical. So not that we've watched Looney Tunes before, right? When we've seen musical type stuff, skits and pieces, but this would be the first musical. So the screenplay and lyrics were written by Emmy Award-winning Ariel Dumas, who is also the head writer on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and he's also a huge Looney Tunes fan, which is what drew him to it. And so, so it is going to be, this is the premise for this. Daffy Duck is bidding for the lead role in the musical until he is kidnapped by an obsessive fan who has sinister plans for his favorite stage duck. Very Looney Tunes. Now this, today on What the Hell Is This? It's called Did I Do That to the Holidays? A Steve Urkel story. Who asked for an animated Steve Urkel Christmas special or holiday special? Does Gen Alpha even know really
I was
who
going
Steve
to ask.
Urkel is?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, because it follows that even if you had reruns of Family Matters going, right? Even if you had that, it follows that it has to be a rerun in your market for you to see that and know and understand. But Family Matters ended in 1998. So we're talking about, that's almost what? How long is that? 98?
I don't know. My grandchildren were born after 2000. Okay.
Right. So we're talking about, this is an excess of 20 years that it hasn't been on the air. So Gen Alpha, right? Most of them weren't even born when Family Matters was still on the air rather. So anyway, that was supposed to have, so Jaleel White, who played Steve Urkel / Stefan in the original series, was supposed to reprise his role. Yeah, so that's not happening. Maybe again it will be picked up someplace else, but I question why they thought this would fly in the first place. And not that it couldn't be good. He was a goofy, wacky character that had appeal to a certain age demographic. I just don't know that it's the one they're going after now.
And
So the amazing. Go ahead.
I don't know how it will be perceived. Will it be perceived as bullying now that he's got glasses? And things change.
Yeah.
Culture shift.
Yeah.
Why did they like him just because he's wearing glasses and he wears his pants up so
and he's
high?
being rejected by everybody?
Yeah, that is something to think about. The things that flew like in the late 90s, early 2000s may not fly now. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Well, speaking of more cartoons, The Amazing World of Gumball, the movie, that's a working title. And it actually ran it was a fantasy series that ran on the Cartoon Network for 6 seasons from 2011 to 2019. So remember, seasons are not always concurrent with number of years. So that's how long it ran. And but that one is the Amazing World of Gumball is still supposed to be happening, but just not coming to HBO Max. So that's the last one. So there are a couple of things, and I still say, what's happening at HBO Max? But I can probably guess. Well, speaking of holidays, I'm excited about this one. But let's see. My thing with sequels and reimaginings is don't mess this up. A Christmas Story, remember, which starred Peter Billingsley, is getting a sequel with the original film stars, and they've gotten a release date on HBO Max. So that is happening. Now,
that I might watch.
Absolutely. Because I am in love with A Christmas Story. I watch it every year because what station is it? TBS? I don't remember, that does the back-to-back showing of it. Like
TV. I think it's TBS.
I think so. So I'm in love with that. I absolutely love it. So it's going to be a sequel to the 1983 cult classic. I love it that much. I even have A Christmas Story wrapping paper. That's how much I love it.
I love it.
So it's going to be released on November 17th on HBO Max. According to to Deadline Hollywood, it's going to be released on HBO Max then. So the sequel is going to be set in the 70s, because you remember that was really the late 1930s that the original one was set in. So this is it would make no sense if it was current day. It can't happen, but they can have it set in the 1970s. So it's going to be a period piece as well, and set in the 70s. So Peter Billingsley, who played young, oh gosh, what, Ralphie Parker.
Ralph.
Yeah, Ralphie. He's 51 now. So he's going to join fellow original film stars Ian Petrella, who played Randy, Zach Ward, who played Scott Farkas, Scott Schwartz, who played Flick, and R.D. Robb, who played Schwartz. So they're going to return. This is the description. Adult Ralphie returns to the house on Cleveland Street to deliver his kids a magical Christmas like the one he had growing up. With the same attention to real-life tone as the first, Ralphie reconnects with with childhood friends, reconciles with the passing of his old man, and sows the seed for the origins of the beloved holiday classic. That sounds like it could be a nice holiday film.
Yeah, that sounds like that's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if they're going to go with voiceover like they did for the first one, like with an adult Ralphie. So that adult, it's going to be interesting. And it would be interesting too if they have, and so they have an adult Ralphie, and arguably from the 70s, but they could have an adult Ralphie from now looking back on the 70s as the voiceover. So that could be, I'm interested to see how they're going to do that, but I am happy about that. November 17th, that debuts on HBO Max, just in time for the holidays. Look, finally something reasonable. That's nice. So let's keep going. I have a few more that I want to talk about, if it will give me the room to talk about it. Okay, there we go. So let's talk about Netflix. You know, they always give me something to talk about. So their ad-supported tier may have some commercial-free content. Interesting.
Well,
they might
really?
show ads during newer original movies. So yeah, so it may not be all the content that's going to be ad-supported on the ad-supported tier, which is their cheaper subscription plan. So according to a report from Bloomberg and The Verge, they're suggesting that Netflix may cut commercials from the newer original films as well as certain children's programming. So they may not run ads when they're first released during original movies, and will instead insert the ads at a later date. So maybe they've come out ad-free and then they add them later on. So, but it is still too early to tell how long Netflix will show a newer movie without the ads. And knowing that they need some money is probably not going to be very long. So, that's happening. And so this decision actually may alleviate some of the concerns that filmmakers have about ads detracting from their work. Because again, you know, when you're a filmmaker, this is an ad-free platform. You're going on and you're expecting people to watch completely through. But that's not going to happen if you're on the ad-supported tier. So filmmakers did have some concerns about that, about where ads would be inserted, etc. But I have to say this ad-free thing is still it's not a new concept, but it's not an original concept from the days of remember when you watched a movie on television, there were ads all up, down, in, and through the thing. It was only when HBO debuted and you paid for it, that you had the ability to watch ad-free movies. Before that, you were watching movies, and they cut it to fit television, so you didn't see the whole thing. So, and I see that I'm a little bit choppy. I apologize. I don't know why.
You're still
so
good.
So that's coming to their ad-supported tier. Well, what's not coming is maybe. Oh, okay, good. So yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's the time of day, but it's no ads for certain content, including children's programming. But for movies, they may add them after. Original movies, they may add them after. All right. Well, let's talk what's happening with music. Pandora actually is being sued for copyright infringement by a number of comedians. And George Lopez is the latest comedian to add his name to that growing list. So this list includes comedians Louis Black, Andrew Dice Clay, remember him? The estates of George Carlin and Robin Williams. So they have consolidated copyright cases And this is going to change if they win and this goes through. This would change the way that comedians are paid by streaming platforms. So right now, the way it works is that, like with music, it happens. You get paid for the streaming, but also the for the underlying writing underneath the music. Okay, so it's the streaming and the music. So what they were doing is they're not getting paid for the streaming, the writing part of it. So they filed this back in July, and they have a whole bunch of receipts claiming that they've been underpaid or stiffed altogether for performances that have already streamed thousands of times on Pandora. And they're saying that Pandora knowingly posted comedy routines without attempting to attain licenses of any kind, and then admitted in regulatory filings that they knew they were taking a risk by offering the material to its more than 55 million users. So the thing is that, like, yeah, we know we're taking a risk. You know you're saying so you know you're doing something wrong. Why would you not obtain the license? It's a recording. You do have to have the licensing in order to stream it. So that's why they're like, you know what? No. And I don't blame them. If your things are being streamed, and Pandora has multitudes of ads now because they have a lot of people, myself included, listen to Pandora without paying. You know, they don't have a paid plan. I do have the free plan. So I'm getting ads tooth and nail. So imagine the revenue they're getting from these ads, and they're not, the artist is not getting anything out of this at all. So we have to stop this, because the point is streaming was supposed to be a frontier of freedom for creators in some ways. But what's happening is you're just replicating what old school record companies used to do, which is taking advantage of artists. So, so we will see what happens with that. It should be. I hope they rule in their favor. Lopez's lawsuit, though, says that 37 of his recorded works have been streamed thousands of times on Pandora. As of the date of the filing, Pandora advertised that Mr. Lopez had 117,000 monthly listeners. If each listener listened to only one available work per month, that's 1,404,000 broadcasts or interactive streams per year at minimum. And unfortunately, Mr. Lopez has not received a fraction of a penny from any of those broadcasts or streams. And Pandora has kind of declined to comment on that one. You know you're wrong, but they have a counterclaim. I'm like, stop it, Pandora, stop it. Don't file any stop it. Stop it. So good luck to the comedians that are looking for this. And if it does go through, like I said, it will radically change the way that comedians are paid for their streaming works. All right, couple more. New study has found that 59% of U.S. adults watch video daily on non-TV hardware. So here we go, devices, right? So just this Wednesday, just 2 days ago, Leichtman Research Group announced that they have a study, the Emerging Video Survey Study. 59% of U.S. adult respondents said they get in at least some video viewing on a non-TV device every day. But among 18 to 34-year-olds, that figure jumps to 83%. And we're not surprised by that, right? Because we know that younger demographics are using their phones and mobile devices to access content. So this is what they say. While non-TV devices provide the ability to watch video anywhere, the most common location for watching video on a non-TV device continues to be in the home. So even though they're on a non-TV device, they're still at home doing it. That's the most commonplace. 85% who watch TV or watch video on a tablet or e-reader do so at home. So that's interesting. So that also shows that most people are not necessarily away from home or on the road watching content. Some are, but 85% are at home. So there are all sorts of things that could be looked at with that. So other insights were that the daily non-TV viewing share was lower for YouTube at 51% and still lower for news clips at 35%. 50% of adults watch video on mobile phones every day versus 33% 5 years ago. The big three video on demand services, streaming video on demand services, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Hulu, have extended their reach into households, with 83% of respondents reporting a subscription with at least one of them. 5 years ago, it was only 64%. So again, we know why. We know why. Not just the growth of streaming, but the pandemic made us homebound, and so we were looking for content. So some people just have not canceled some of those things yet. I'd be interested to see the results in like 3 more years, whether or not that still holds true. Because we're still in this kind of pandemic age. So I found that really interesting, but that shows a lot of us are watching video through devices, which means we need to keep that in mind when we're creating video. You have to keep the end user and the end goal in mind. Most people are not watching things blown up on a huge screen. So I always tell people this too when I'm doing, when we're doing social media. I'm like, well, why are you downloading something you're going to put on social media in 4K? Number one, our ecosystem is not there yet. But number two, it's a smaller screen. So even if most people are watching things like YouTube or whatever on their phone, they're not going to notice the 4K-ness of it. And it doesn't mean don't shoot in 4K, but consider the end result. It's going to be a faster upload, still great quality if you do it in HD, because we're just not there yet. So something to think about as you're creating content. Most of us are watching a lot of things on our phones. Wow. And there was one more thing I wanted to tell you. Hold on, if I can find it. Moviepass is back. Yes. So we talked about that. We talked about this before. Remember, they ousted the head. The company ran it into the ground, and then he bought it back. And so now he bought it back, and they're planning to launch. So here's the thing. Okay, I have to find another one. Here we go. All right. So they're officially set to relaunch. And contrary to some commentary, Stacy Spikes is the CEO. He says the timing couldn't be better. Now, I read something just yesterday about this, and somebody said Moviepass is back, and it couldn't be worse timing. Part of the thing is we have subscription fatigue. So when they ended in 2019, that was before the pandemic hit, right? When Vamoose in 2019, it was a vastly different landscape in terms of people were still going to the movies. We're still trying to get people back to go to movie theaters. People are reluctant, and there's more content now, streaming, etc., more offerings than there were in 2019. They were there, but not as much as now. And so as such, it's an uphill battle to get people to pay per month to go someplace I don't want to go to and get monkeypox anyway, right? It's going to be an uphill battle. But this is what Stacy Spikes says. Now is a more exciting time where you want to get into the water. Not with monkeypox. That's what he says. He said he'd rather relaunch now than prior to the pandemic. And I could see his reasoning. Maybe there are lessons learned and he has a strategy now. Whereas if he had relaunched before the pandemic and then the pandemic hit, that would have decimated them. So maybe now is a good time for them to launch. But, it's in the eye of the beholder, actually.
Well, I think people are in denial. I mean, they're walking around without masks. I've been to several states. People are on airplanes. They're not masking them. I'm just like, this is just insane. So maybe Moviepass will be a success. Maybe some people will put on their masks and others will not, because they're up in there. They're actually up in the theater, at least in the states that I was visiting. And I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah, it's selfish to me, and it is not a good. We're never going to come out of this if people don't do what needs to be done. And people think it's over, ready to take off my mask.
Yeah, they're in denial.
Selfish. They are in denial, and unfortunately, it takes a rude awakening for people to come out of denial, and we don't want that. But that's unfortunately what it probably will take. They are launching in several markets over Labor Day weekend, so we have just about a week before they launch again. There's a wait list for the app's beta version, which opened just yesterday to overwhelming demand, according to them. So much so that it caused the site servers to crash. The company said in a tweet. He said 30,000 people have signed up in the first 5 minutes prior to the server crashing for 2.5 hours, and now it's back up and running. So let me tell you quickly about the new Moviepass model. So it was just $10 a month, remember before, which I was like, how is this sustainable? Apparently it wasn't. So now the resurrected version is going to allow you, the viewers, to select monthly prices between $10, $20, and $30. And each tier will set an amount of credits that you're able to use to cash in to see the movies. And there will be no unlimited viewing option. We could have guessed that. So that's what it's going to look like. But this is also the interesting thing, that Moviepass is not in the market now by itself, because remember, AMC, Regal, and one other have also launched their own similar Moviepass type programs. So you're now competing. It's the same thing with streaming, right? With Netflix. Remember, Netflix had all this content, and then the network said, well, we can do our own. Disney, we're taking Marvel stuff back off of Netflix, and everybody started snatching their properties off of Netflix because we could do it ourselves. Well, it's similar with Moviepass, right? They're like, well, we could do this ourselves, right? Once they saw why they didn't do it before is beyond me, but sometimes it takes for somebody else to do it, and then you're like, hey, I can do that. This is my lane, but you didn't do it. So now that's what's happening. So I'm wondering how Moviepass is going to contend with them. So I wish them luck. I want to see them succeed. It's an awesome concept. Maybe this time they've got it right. And that's what I have for you in terms of media.
Wow.
All right.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Dr. Tachi. Okay, this has been very informative today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in live on the replay in Clubhouse. Wherever you are watching from, we may be watching from Mars pretty soon. Anyway.
The Metaverse.
The Metaverse, yes. Speaking of which, Dr. Tachi, tell us how we can get to your brunch on the Metaverse, please.
Yes. So if you are interested in coming to Media Meets Brunch, that is going to happen this Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, which would be 9:30 p.m. Pacific. And we are going to be talking about using video and live streaming in Web3 and the Metaverse. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We have Ope and Cheddars, who are from the Metaverse Meetup on Clubhouse. We actually are doing a collaboration with them on this, and they built out this beautiful Metaverse space for us to use. And so you can watch us on YouTube, which is I have if you want to go to any of my social media, like IG, you can
Instagram.
IG, you can see the flyer, and the caption tells you everywhere. But we'll be on YouTube, on Facebook, and Twitter. You can, and that's my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We will also be on Discord. You just go to the Metaverse Meetup server on Discord, and you can watch it on Discord. We will be here on Clubhouse under the Metaverse Meetup. And of course, if you want to come in as an avatar, you can go to AltSpace VR. Go to altvr.com and then download the AltSpace VR app. And then you'll be able to create your avatar and come in. And the room code is in the the world code is actually in the caption on Instagram.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to that. I thought I had missed it.
No. It's Sunday. So
okay.
Get ready for some virtual brunch. Bring your real brunch, but we will also, if you join us in the Metaverse, we have virtual brunch set up. So
cool.
Yeah.
Very good. So once again, we want to say thank you for tuning in live on the replay. We'll be back on Monday with coffee, tea, thoughts, and conversations. Yeah. I don't think that's first Monday yet. That's going to be coming up on September.
Right.
Yeah. So we will be coffee, tea, thoughts, and conversations on Monday. TJ will be with us on Tuesday with social media. She has some really good articles and stories and strategies this last week. You need to go back and check them out. So make sure you come back in on Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. on the East Coast. You can join BizChicks by texting biz to 33777 or by visiting bizchicks.net. You're welcome to the community. There is no charge for you to join the community. We do want to help you in any way we can to take the hassle out of your hustle so that you can build a profitable business that is fun to run. And with that, Terry,
We want to remind you it's okay to make money in your business. So go to the front of your own line. We'll see you Monday. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
bye-bye.